Now let us look into the part B of our question. In this part B, we are supposed to implement count increasing calls method. In this method, what we have to do is this method should return an integer value which denotes the number of columns which are in increasing order. Okay, in the entire two-dimensional array, we have to check how many columns are in increasing order. Now, what do we mean by this increasing order? See, this increasing order means a column. See, this column is said to be in increasing order if and only if the elements in each row after the first row is greater than or equals to the elements in the previous row. Okay. So let's take this example, which is mentioned in the question itself. So if I'm talking about this column, then the element in this row, this column should be less than the element in this row column value. All right. Similarly, this should be less than this. So let's see. Element 10, is it less than 20? Yes, it is. So it's like, yes. Is this 20 less than this 30? Yes, it is. So like this, we will compare all the elements in that row, in that column. And if all the elements satisfies the condition, then this column is said to be in the increasing order. Okay. Now let's look into this column. Is this less than this? No, it is not. So that means this column is not in the increasing order. We need not to go further and check this with this. Okay, we need not to compare this and this. Why? Because we have failed here. This column failed here. Okay, so we will stop here itself. Now, let's look into this column. So this 40 is greater than 20. So once again, this column is also not in increasing order. So what should be the answer for this two-dimensional array? It should return 1. Why? Because there is only one column that is in the increasing order. Okay. So let's take one more example. Is this 10 greater than 20? Less than 20? Yes, it is. So that means this is an increasing order. Is this 540 less than this? No, it is not. So this is not an increasing order. 440 and 440. See, it should be either, this element should be either small or equals to. So in this case, it is equal. So this is an increasing order. This is not, because 440 is bigger than 190. All right. So the answer or the method should return true in this case, because there are two columns in which the columns are in increasing order. Okay. So let's go to the solution and try to implement this method. So we have this count increasing calls method, which has a variable count in it, which is initialized to 0 initially. So this basically, this variable count is used to keep a track of the number of columns which are in increasing order. Okay. Now, once again, since we are dealing with two-dimensional array, we will take help, or we will try to implement it with the help of nested if. So this outer for loop, what it is doing, it is iterating over the columns this time. See, this is iterating over the columns. Okay. Now, this for loop runs on the variable j, whose value starts from 0 and goes on till the number of columns in the first row. All right. Now, going inside this outer for loop, we have a variable is increasing, which is set to true. Well, this is increasing variable is used as a flag. Okay, initially the flag value is true. So this flag will take care whether the particular column is in increasing order or no. All right. Now, going towards the inner for loop, this for loop takes care of rows. Now, looking at this for loop, it is very clear that it is iterating on I, starts from 1, goes on till grid dot length. Now, just pay attention to this. Why we are starting from 1? See, if there is an array like this, two-dimensional array like this, then in this case, we have to start comparing this element from this. So if this is I, which is equals to 1, then it should be compared with I minus 1. All right. And that's the reason we are starting from 1. Okay. Now, we will check the if condition that if grid ij means I is the row, which is first row, and j is 0 initially. So is this value less than this value? If it is less, then that means the column is not in increasing order, right? So we will set the flag as false, is increasing as false, and we will break out of the loop. Why we break out of the loop? Because we need not check the further values. Once we have found the value which do not satisfies the condition, we will stop there and go to the next column. All right. So see, if is increasing is set to true, then only then what we will do? Then we will do count is equals to count plus 1. So whenever the flag is set to true, we will set the value of this count to count plus 1 every time, because we have to keep a track of how many columns are in increasing order. Okay. So like this, we will keep iterating on each of the column, and at the end, we will have the number of columns which are in increasing order. Okay. Because we are returning the value of count at the end. All right. Okay. So I think that was all about this FRQ section from 2022 paper. I hope you must have enjoyed and got a better idea of these questions and how to solve them. All right. Happy learning. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.